For number one, omega, omega, not omega. Yeah, omega 1 equals 300 revs per minute equals 10 pi radians per second. W2 equals 9 pi radians per second. T2 equals half I W2 squared equals 1/2 I times 9 pi. So, and then T1 will equal half I omega 1 squared, which equals 1/2 I omega 1. So times 10. So then 10 pi squared minus 1800 equals half I. Times omega 1. I equals 2 times 1800 divided by pi squared. 100 minus 81. And then equals 19.2 pounds times feet per second squared. And then U2 minus U2 to 1 equals moment times theta. And 1800 feet per times pounds equals 25 pounds times theta. And the theta equals 11.46 revolutions. And then for T2, or not for T2, for problem 2, T1 plus U to 1 to 2 equals T2. T equals half mv squared plus half I omega squared. T1 equals 0. T2 equals half mv2 squared plus half I omega t2 squared. V2 equals I times omega 2 squared. I times omega 2 divided by 2, and then I equals 1/2 mass L squared. T2 equals 1/2 times mass times half L omega 2 squared plus half times 1/12 mass times L squared omega 2 squared. T2 will then equal 1/6 mass L squared omega 2 squared. U1 to 2 is equals 1/2 times mg, and then you do set those equations equal to each other, and you get 0 plus 1, or you plug them in for the energy equation, you get 0 plus 1. 0 plus L over 2 mg equals 1/6 m L squared omega 2 squared. Then you get omega 2 squared equals 6 L mg divided by 2m L squared, and then get W2 equals that. And then for 3, you get T1 plus V for the energy, you get T1 plus V1 equals T2 plus V2. Then you have to find V1, which you get MGL divided by 2. Then you find V2, which is MGL divided by 2 times sine 30 degrees minus cosine 30 degrees. T2 equals 1/2 IT times omega squared. IT equals 2 times 1/3 mass times L squared. And then T2 equals 1/3 mass omega 2 L squared. So then you plug those into the energy equation, and then you come out with omega equaling 7.089 radians per second. And then for 4, give me a second. For form, m equals 46 Newton times meters, t equals 0.1 seconds, mass equals 19 kilograms, k equals 0.25 meters, r equals 0.05 meters, and then I will equal m times k squared, mass times k squared, 19 times 0.25 squared, you get 1.188 kilograms per meter squared. Then you do the moment times t equals I times omega, and you get 46 times 0.1 equals 1.188 times omega, and then you get omega equals 3.87 radians per second. For 5, I equals 2 divided by 5 times mass times r squared plus m times r squared equals 7/5 times mass times r squared. And then I times omega naught minus mass times v naught times r minus force of mu times r times t equals 0. They get force of mu equals mu k, so the coefficient times newt times normal, you get m times w, which is the coefficient times m times g. You get 7/5 times meters per. Then you plug in all your things, then you come out with w naught equals 5/7 times coefficient of friction times g times t plus v naught over r. Then you get time equals 7/5 times r times omega naught minus v naught divided by coefficient of friction times g. Okay. For 6, I did I1 equals half mr squared plus 1/4 times half mr squared equals 5/8 mr squared. I2 equals half mr squared plus half times half m times r squared equals 3/4 mr squared. H1 equals I1 omega naught, which equals 5/8 mr squared w naught. H2 equals I2 W2 equals 3/4 mr squared W2. And then you do H1 equals H2, plug them, and then you get W omega squared equals 5/6 W naught. And then for 7, you get the force of U times T equals mass times V naught sine 30 degrees minus V1. V1 will equal omega times R. Then get force of V times T equals mass times V naught cosine 30 degrees minus V2. And then you get V2 equals omega 2 times R times 0.866. And then you do F force of U times T times R equals IW, or I omega. And then FV times T times R times 0.866 equals negative IA times omega 2. And then you plug in your values that you got from above. And you get omega 1 equals omega 2 minus omega. And you get omega equals mass times V naught sine 30 degrees times R divided by IA. And then you get omega 2 equals mass times V naught cosine 30 times R times 0.866 divided by negative IA minus 0.75 R squared. And then you get omega 1 equals mass times V naught cosine 30 times R times 0.866 divided by negative IA plus 0.75 R squared minus M times V naught times 0.5 times R divided by IA, and then you get V1. Yeah. And then for 8, MP equals 15 kilograms, MA equals 55 kilograms, B equals 70 kilograms, H equals 2.5 meters. And then you do VB squared equals 2 times G times H equals 49.05. And then VB will equal 7 meters per second. And then I equals 1/12 MP times 4 times L squared, which equals 1/3 MP times L squared. And then VA equals VE time, which equals omega times L. And then you do FB times T equals MB times VB minus VE. And then you plug in everything. You get omega equals 3.769 divided by L. And then you get VA equals omega L equals 3.769 meters per second. And then VA squared equals 2 times G times H equals 2 times 9.81 times height. And then the height equals 724 millimeters.